Break it down.
Get swishy with it. Swish Edition.
Hey, so Dale, guess what?
What?
Today is June 21st.
Hooray. Hey, it's the first day of summer.
Do you know what that means?
First day of summer.
It's the first day of summer, and it is the summer solstice. So apparently the summer solstice officially happened at 2:13 a.m. here on the West Coast. I don't know. Does that mean it happened at 5:13 a.m. on the East Coast? Does it happen at the exact same time everywhere? I think so.
I assume that happens at the... Yes.
Yeah, so most...
you have to adjust it.
Most everyone was asleep for it. I definitely was asleep for it. That's for damn sure.
And speaking of June 21st...
Yes.
And I don't have the exact figures, but apparently for the next couple of weeks...
Mm-hmm.
If you get up, here in Las Vegas, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I assume it's like 5 o'clock on the East Coast.
Uh-huh.
But you, on a clear sky, will be able to see Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, and the moon all in one.
Oh, my goodness.
And we won't get it again until 2080 or something like that. It's coming up.
Not going to be around for that. So we have to know when to look.
Yeah.
I would get up. I mean, hell, I'm up at 2 or 3 o'clock taking the dogs out.
Yeah,
so,
and we always have clear skies, always, almost always. So
99% of the time.
Yeah, so if you look up, you're going to see these really, really bright stars. Now I don't know which one's which unless you get one of those apps going to the sky. But it's Mercury, Venus, the Moon, Jupiter, and Saturn. And apparently Uranus, but it's going to be really, really, it's almost going to look like a regular star. So you might not be able to pick that up. But I think that's pretty cool to be able to see all those. And they're all supposed to be kind of like jumbled together, like not far apart, like all together.
Well, the funny thing is, I see Uranus every night.
This, my friends, is the Swish Edition. From their secret underground studio, this is the Swish Edition.
I got a mouthful for you guys.
Dale and Scott are in the studio on the mics, and they fired up the antenna.
It has to come whether you like it or not.
And if you're willing to show it, they'll take a picture of it.
I actually think I might throw it.
Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else in between, here are your new best friends. They're your hosts,
It's very exciting for me because this is the best show ever made.
Dale and Scott.
So that was a joke, obviously.
Yeah.
But I did get up. I want to tell you this. Just to keep going with the moon and the planets thing for a second, because it is timely, as here we are in the longest day of the year. You guys are going to get more sunlight today than you've gotten all year long.
Starts going downhill from here.
All downhill after this. But last night, or yesterday, Monday morning, I woke up at 5:05 with the dogs. I was outside. I was looking at the moon. Here in Vegas, because we're on the very eastern part of the Pacific time zone.
Right on the edge.
It gets really light here really early. So our sun is coming up at like 5 o'clock. So it's light out. So I'm outside. I'm looking at the moon. And the moon is like literally a half circle right now. Or it was on Monday morning. And I understand why people back in the olden days thought the world was flat, because that it would make sense that it would make that shadow on the moon, right? Of course, they didn't know what they were. They didn't know what they were doing, but it's like, wait, why is it completely half circle? That doesn't even make sense. I understand now. I mean, I understand. I also know it's 230 miles away.
Yeah.
230,000 miles away.
That's what the For All Mankind tells us.
Yeah, we're
great show.
I know.
We are late to the party. We just started.
We are. We're going to talk about that later in the show. Hey, but first, breaking news. This is huge, and it's huge for a couple reasons. Maybe you guys don't care about BTS. Most people of a certain age probably don't.
No.
But it is huge news, and we're going to tell you why. So BTS is this South Korean K-pop band, 7 guys that sing songs. Most of them didn't even know English when they started, and they were singing these English songs.
It's my understanding only 2 can speak English.
Right, but they sing in English anyway because they're just singing the words. Right. Anyway, they've decided to break up. They're going to, or take a break, I guess is what they've decided to do. And they want to do solo projects, which I find kind of funny because I don't know any of their names. Like, if they did a solo project, I'd have to learn who they were.
Right.
And I don't know any of their names. But we're going to learn them today. Anyway, one of them said that they were really struggling to find their identity. And they said the whole thing has been an exhausting process. They were basically a machine. They were put out there and they were just bam, bam, bam. They were everywhere. They were putting out songs left and right. They were on every show. They were touring the world.
Well, they're not the only K-pop band, and all of them are like that. I feel like K-pop now is what boy bands in the 90s were to us. They were machines. They were put together on purpose, for a purpose.
Yeah.
And they sold millions.
Like Menudo. I mean, Menudo was probably the first one in our hemisphere. And then after that, it was...
I mean, you look at the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, 5, what's the one that sings Wet Dream? That one. I mean, there were tons of them.
Tons of them.
It's a whole marketing thing, and this is what K-pop is going through now.
South Korean men are required to have 2 years of military service, no matter who you are. However, the oldest member of BTS, his name is Jin. He is required to begin his service next year. But Korean legislators are in the process right now of deciding on a bill to provide military exemptions to world-famous artists.
That's funny.
There's continued debate over whether BTS should have similar benefits as athletes in South Korea enjoy. So if you're an athlete and you're playing baseball is huge in Korea, they are exempt from the military service because they're making so much money for the country playing baseball. So they're thinking about making this law so that the BTSers don't need to do their military.
It's funny. You can look it up. There's only a handful of country that require military service. That's actually not a lot. You would think it would be more, but it's really not.
Yeah. Well, certainly not here. I think Israel is one of them that has it. We don't have it here, obviously.
There aren't many.
No. Anyway, the reason this is big news, last week's unexpected announcement caused anger among investors in the company that manages the band. It basically owns them. It's called, their letters are HYBE. Their shares dropped 25% last week, losing $1.55 billion in market value.
Well, the one thing that doesn't make sense to me is it says that they're having trouble finding their identity. I find that bullshit. What you have is working. Just continue to do the same. Just continue to do the fucking same. You already have your identity. This is what your identity is. What are you lacking?
It's just like Harry Styles and all these other guys. They wanted to break out and do their own thing.
Okay.
They wanted to get away from their group and do their own thing.
Yes, I give you One Direction, but One Direction stayed together for more than a couple of years.
Yeah.
They certainly weren't going to split up at the height of what they're doing.
So anyway, I didn't know their names, but there are 7 guys in BTS. Their names are Jungkook, V, Jimin, Suga, Jin, RM, and J-Hope. And
I had no idea.
I bet none of those names are their real names. Anyway, $1.55 billion lost because they've decided to break up. So it is big news for somebody, whoever owns stock in that company. Speaking of crimes of humanity, because BTS breaking up is a crime of humanity, should convicted convicts get to profit off their crimes? You guys know about this grifter fraudster. Her name was Anna Delvey, right?
Yeah.
They did a whole Netflix series about her. Julia Garner, we know her as Ruth on Ozark. She played Anna in the Netflix series. Basically, she's
going to ruin her career with this Madonna.
And we talked about that last week. Are you
know.
going to go right back to that?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, now Anna is now selling NFTs of art that she created in prison. And if you buy one, you can visit her in prison. You can literally go to the prison and meet with her.
I don't think that's true.
And I don't understand. Well,
it's not true.
One, we've talked about this a lot in the past. NFTs are friggin' stupid, and they're a Ponzi scheme. They're dumb. They don't make any fucking. They're as dumb as cryptocurrency. Okay, they're stupid little things that you supposedly own, but it's a thing on your computer, and it's what does it stand for? Non-fungible tokens. So I don't understand why anyone would put any stock into this. It's the dumbest, stupidest thing in the world. When you can buy a picture, I mean, you can just save a picture off the fucking computer. Why do you need to own? I just don't get it. Anyway, so she's selling this shit, and you know that people will buy it. There are people who marry people in prison. I mean, one of the Menendez brothers got married while he was in prison.
Right.
Some stupid bitch fell in love with him after watching the Menendez trial and decided to marry him. She's never even fucking touched him because he's still in prison. I mean, there's something wrong in your brain if you think that you're in love with someone who's in prison for murdering his father.
Right. There's a whole thing about that whole pen pal bullshit, and it's weird.
Right. But I just don't understand how someone who has been convicted of a crime and they're in prison, she did her time. I don't think she's in prison anymore. Right now she is in, what do they call it when you're going to be deported and they put you in a holding place? It's
Sure.
Yeah, she's going to be deported to Germany. So that's where she is now. She did her time, and now she's there. She's going to be sent back to Germany. But she's making money basically off the fact that she was a convicted felon.
Yeah.
And I find that completely wrong, and I don't think that she should be able to do that.
Well, I suspect that maybe she's drawing these and she's mailing them out, and then someone's creating the NFT.
Yeah, because you don't have access to computers in prison or...
So, I mean, there's not much you could do about that there. Where I thought you were going with this story was, like, should she get any money from, like, Netflix for a story about her life? And the answer to that is no. No. Anybody can write a story about anything.
I think so.
Anyone.
Yeah.
And that person does not entitled to any.
If you're a
money.
public figure, then yeah, someone can write a book or a story about you.
Yeah.
Also, in that same vein, and this one kind of irked me a little bit. Should someone who went to prison for 20... He was institutionalized. That's what that word says, Dale.
Initialized?
Yeah. He was institutionalized for 41 years for trying to assassinate the president of the United States. Should he be performing his guitar music in public?
Well, but here's my thing about John Hinkley, and I feel like that what he did not be eligible for freedom.
I completely 100
should not be eligible for freedom.
Completely agree with you 100%. John Hinkley, just the backstory. John Hinkley Jr. is now officially 100% free. And this hasn't happened until just last week. 41 years after he tried to assassinate Ronald Reagan, he also shot 2 Secret Service agents and James Brady, who I believe was Secretary of Treasury. Am I right? I don't know.
Something.
And that guy was in a wheelchair for his entire life because of being shot, and then he eventually died of his injuries. John Hinkley was proven innocent because he was insane, basically, or not innocent, but not guilty because of insanity.
Okay.
And he was institutionalized for all these years, and then he got out, and he was monitored for several years. He lived with his parents in Williamsburg, Virginia, very close to where my parents live.
Yeah.
In the same community, actually. And
really?
And now, yeah. And now
you know that's actually that's something.
Yeah,
I mean, this is horrible, but that's something.
Oh yeah, the Hinkleys lived in Kings Mill, where my parents live.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you know where?
I know exactly where. Yeah.
What? As many times as I've been there, and you took me around that thing, you showed me, oh, here's the beach, and here's the water, here's the restaurants. Number one on the fucking list should be this is where the Hinkleys live.
That's funny.
Are you fucking kidding me? As many times as we've been there, and you didn't take me there?
They do live there.
You're an ass.
Well, I think they're dead now.
But still, that's something.
I mean, he's like 63 years old, I think. At this point, he is not monitored in any way. He is a completely 100% free guy.
Yeah.
And he plays the guitar. And this place called the Market Hotel in Brooklyn, New York, scheduled him to perform his guitar music. And then they canceled it. And they said, basically, we're canceling it because we've gotten very real and worsening threats and hate from people. And I'm like, duh, because this is horrible.
Well, the thing is that you shouldn't tolerate that either.
Of course, no. Of course,
So,
you shouldn't tolerate that.
If you want to hire the man, hire the man, right? You hire the man. But the one thing that you should be focused on is that if you're getting threats like that, that shit should be turned over. Yes, this guy and what our thoughts are one thing.
Agreed.
But that is illegal and that should be dealt with.
No, and I agree with you 100%. But I also want to know why
he does it in the first place.
I want to know why the Market Hotel in Brooklyn, New York, decided that this was a good idea in the first place.
Right.
Hinkley tweeted last Thursday that his promoter was looking for alternative venues for him to perform. And what I want to know is, who the fuck is the promoter? Who takes on John Hinkley Jr. as a client? That's what I want to know. And here's the kicker. And I say this, and I'm not trying to start anything, but if I was Jodie Foster, I'd hire someone to keep track of where that man was at all times. I'd want to know where John Hinkley Jr. was at all times if I was Jodie Foster, because apparently, as we know from history, John Hinkley Jr. shot President Reagan because he was in love with Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
So, which is just friggin' insane because she's a fucking lesbian. So she doesn't have any interest in you, John Hinkley Jr.
But you can't reason with someone.
Well, of course not. And we didn't know she was a lesbian back then. So. Anyway, I just think that someone who tries, I'm sorry. Yes, maybe he's reformed and maybe he's a great guy now. Maybe he learned his lesson and he's different. If you try to kill the president of the United States, if you try to kill anyone, should you ever be free?
No.
You
should never be free.
He shot 4 people.
Yeah.
He shot 4 people with a gun.
Yeah.
We've been there. You and I, there's a picture of you and me. We were at an event at the Washington Hilton. I'm wearing the red pants and the white shirt, and we're standing there. It's a picture exactly where Reagan was shot.
Well, we've been there. We've been to that place many times.
Many times.
It's a famous spot.
Can we talk about things that no one asked for, and then I just do not understand why this exists? I mean, we talk a lot on this show about. I mean, last week, Dale and I did the taste test with the Cheez-Its that were aged with Pandora, hip-hop, Eminem music.
Eminem music.
It was. Eminem was one of the songs that they aged the music to, the cheese to. I listened to it. I actually ate a bunch of them yesterday. They taste great.
But what do you do when you're a company?
Don't taste different.
When you're a company and your company is Cheez-Its. How do you, yes, it's a successful snack. People are going to buy it regardless, but how do you inject
you want people to talk about you
it and get, you just do dumb shit about your same old snack.
Well, that's what Kit Kat's doing. Kit Kat has now released a blueberry muffin Kit Kat. This is literally a Kit Kat with white chocolate on the outside and blueberry muffin filling on the inside.
Yeah, no one wants that.
Nobody wants that Kit Kat company.
Well, speaking of Kit Kats, have we had the mint one?
I don't know, but
that's supposed to be really good.
The only one that I've had that I've liked besides the regular Kit Kat, which is fine on its own, is the dark chocolate Kit Kat, which is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a mint one. There's also a strawberry shortcake one. There's they have different ones for different seasons. But of course, as everything we talk about on the show, when it comes to these things, this is a limited edition. So you're not going to find blueberry muffin Kit Kats for very long. So if you want to try it out,
get it now.
220 calories, Dale, for one package. Oh my God. Every week I read articles about Airbnb. We've talked about it on the show recently, how people are getting. I love this story. I can't put a whole sentence together. I'm sorry, y'all. But I love this story I saw recently about Airbnb where this guy's like, you want me, I'm staying in your Airbnb. You want me to not only take the sheets off the bed,
Right.
take the towels out of the bathroom and start the washer, but you also want me to start the dishwasher, take out the trash, and then you're still going to charge me $100 for cleaning.
No.
When I did all the fucking work.
No. I mean, this isn't an Airbnb thing. This is just a thing with these fucking people. And Airbnb needs to like reach out to these people and say, this is not how it works.
They need to start cracking down. There's also a new lawsuit coming out. It was last week. This woman, I don't know, this couple were staying in Airbnb and they found all these cameras all over the house, in the bedroom, the bathroom, the living room. And they're suing Airbnb now because they're like, I don't, my privacy is being violated.
100%.
I spent $400 to stay in this fucking house. I should not be monitored while I'm in your house.
And that should go through. And then once that's done, Airbnb should sue that homeowner. Because I really think that is outside. I think that goes against their terms of service.
Yeah.
You can't have fucking cameras in your house.
No.
You just can't.
Your Airbnb service says that you can have them outside showing the driveway and the exterior of the house, not inside. They're not allowed inside.
Yeah.
Anyway, but if you guys want something special, Airbnb does this every now and then. Right now, you can rent an Airbnb Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine. It's parked in Malibu, California.
Hey.
It's only available for 3 nights, June 24th, June 25th, and June 26th. And it's only $20 a night.
What?
It's part of the 20th anniversary of the live-action Scooby-Doo movie that came out with Sarah Michelle Gellar, Freddie Prinze Jr., and Matthew Lillard, who played Shaggy. Anyway, Matthew Lillard is hosting this, and apparently he's going to do a welcome video. He's not going to be there, but he'll welcome you to it. There's a lava lamp, hot dogs, eggplant burgers, which I don't understand, Scooby snacks, popcorn, and, of course, the Scooby-Doo movie on a DVD player.
Of course.
There's a hammock that you can set up outside, but monsters are not included.
Nice.
We got a picture here of the Mystery Machine.
I like it.
Basically, it's a bed and a toilet. There's no shower. And the toilet's basically just kind of part of the room, so there's no privacy. You need to ask your partner to go outside if you're going to use it. I don't know if you're allowed to drive it. I don't know what you do. I don't know why anyone would do this. Yes, it's cute, and I might want to go and take pictures of it.
$20 and to stay there, and long as it was private, I'd do it.
Would you? You want to sleep in the Mystery Machine?
Yeah, why not?
On the banks of the Pacific Ocean?
Yeah, why not?
Guess so.
My thing is that this story is about the cool staying in a Mystery Machine van. The thing is that we have had a lot of experience with Airbnb, and I can't think of a horrible experience. I can't give you one.
I think that I've been irked by some things. I'm irked every time that I'm required to take the sheets off the bed.
Yes, we do have that.
And it's like, why didn't we just stay in a hotel? But the thing is that most of the times that you and I have stayed in Airbnb is because we were with the dogs.
Right.
And so it made it easier to stay in an Airbnb. But if we were going on vacation, I think I'd just rather stay in a full service hotel and not have to do all the work. When you stay at a hotel, you don't have to strip the bed before you leave. You have to do nothing before you leave.
I just think that when you book something like that and they charge you a clean, you just don't do those things. You just don't.
Well, then they'll fine you.
And then that's when you go to
and complain to Airbnb.
Yeah. And it's like, I'm not doing it. You're charging me for this. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. And then I'm paying for myself to do it.
Yeah.
I'm just not doing it.
Well, the next time I get an Airbnb, I'm just going to come on the TV and just leave it there.
But you also have your thing too, is, they require you to do all these things.
I do it though. I follow the rules.
But we do have our favorites. Like the one in Palm Springs. Like we
like that one.
I feel like we're friends with that guy now.
He's not doing it anymore.
I know, but he had a great house.
I
wish he was
great house.
He had a great house.
Yeah, very private backyard with a pool and stuff. We liked it a lot. Anyway, you guys, we've been talking about this a lot lately. A New York Apple store has decided to unionize. And this is just the beginning. I mean, you know, it started with Amazon and then it went to Starbucks and now friggin' Apple stores. Starting salaries for the people that work at Apple stores is $22 an hour. It's double.
That's
the minimum wage, basically.
That's pretty decent.
But they aren't upset about the money. It's not the money that they're upset about. They're upset about that they don't have a say-so in the running of the store.
You shouldn't.
No, you shouldn't as an employee. No, they want more say-so. One of their biggest complaints is they didn't have enough say-so about the COVID protocols that were put into place. Anyway, what I find this is, it's the damn middleman. It's the middleman, which is the union bosses. They're going to be the winners because, you know, these people are going to have to pay union dues.
Right.
They're going to have to pay union dues whether they're working or not.
Right.
Once you're a member, you're a member. And you're required, if you're laid off, you still have to pay unless you resign.
Right.
I just don't understand. It's one of the most, just like Starbucks. Starbucks has tuition experience. They pay for people to go to college. They have 401ks. They've got wonderful health care. And these people are still crying. Apple is also an amazing company, and they do amazing things for their employees, but it's just not good enough for these fuckers that work in this store.
Find another job.
If you don't like it, don't work there anymore.
Unions are the worst thing that have happened in this country.
Where are you going to go if you're working at the Apple store, which I think is a pretty fucking great job? I've gone into the Apple store. You and I were in there just a week or so ago. They actually look like they're pretty happy. It's a happy, fun place to work.
Hey, you're busy. You're talking to people.
I think I said this last week. You're not working in a fucking coal mine.
Right.
You're working in a fucking Apple store and you're wearing a t-shirt with your name on it.
And they just offer amazing benefits.
So I don't understand why you need to be unionized, fuckers.
If I was Apple, I'd close the store.
Yeah, but then they get a lawsuit.
Why?
I don't know.
You just say the store's not performing to our requirements and you just close the fucking store. You just close the fucking store.
That's what I would do. I think they should have the right to do that if they want. Last Friday night, a machete-wielding man stabbed people at SFO airport in San Francisco.
Please tell me he was not beyond TSA.
No. He was in the International's departure lounge before security. So like where you get your tickets and drop off your luggage and stuff. He stabbed like 3 or 4 people before he was apprehended. We don't know why. We don't have his name yet. They haven't released that. We don't know why he did this. But I just knew that when I read the story that I was going to look at the comments. And I have this actual thing on the top of my Facebook. Don't read the comments. But of course I do it anyway because I'd love to see the fuckers and
comments
what they
are
have
the best
to say.
thing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is why that I follow Fox News. I follow 1 Million Moms.
Yeah.
I follow all that weird shit just to see kind of as a country, where are we at?
They're so fucked up.
Where are we at? It's just so fucking crazy.
So the comment I knew I was going to find, I found. It was like one of the first ones.
Yeah.
Oh, so now we're going to try to outlaw machetes?
It's just stupid.
Of course it's stupid. Of course it's stupid.
No one stops to think.
If there were tons of machete attacks, yes, maybe we would.
Maybe.
But there aren't tons of machete attacks. So stupid.
And machetes don't kill 19 people.
Hey, machetes don't kill people. People kill people.
Well, yes, that is true. Yes, I get that argument.
We need better mental health in this country.
Well, sure.
Get rid of the homeless people. Just get rid of them. I mean, just stop that bullshit. Anyway, if you're crazy, you shouldn't have guns, machetes, forks, toothpicks, anything with a sharp edge. You should not be allowed to have. I'm all for that.
You're going down the road that I'm not willing to comment online about.
And speaking of comments, every single news story, no matter what it's about, there will be comments blaming it either on Trump voters, or Biden. And it's mostly Biden.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Literally, I mean, you'll find a recipe for lasagna and someone will say, Biden is ruining fucking America. It was so much better with Trump when our lasagna tasted better.
Oh, God.
I swear to God, it's true.
No, I get it. I get it because people are just fucking crazy. There was like the whole thing. The whole thing when Trump was president, and I don't know if it was Jimmy Kimmel or whatever, and they were talking about Christmas.
Yeah.
And people were so relieved that Trump was in office because they could say Christmas again.
They could say Merry Christmas again.
I was like, what the fuck?
No one was.
What is going on in your head that makes you believe this bullshit?
No one was stopping you saying saying Merry Christmas
shit whether
before.
you say Merry Christmas or not.
But listen, there are people out there, and I actually know some. I know some. I'm friends with them.
I'm sure.
Who are offended if you say Happy Holidays to them instead of Merry Christmas.
And
get over your fucking self.
And because of that,
is what I want to say.
And because of that, I purposely say Happy Holidays.
Yeah.
I have not said Merry Christmas during the holidays and forever. I purposely say Happy Holidays.
Happy Holidays. And with that,
fasten those seatbelts, fuckers. This is going to be a bumpy ride.
It's always a bumpy ride around here. We want to talk about some
Fasten your
shows.
seatbelts and close your butt cheeks. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
We want to talk about some fun shows that are coming up. I don't know if we've talked about this on the show yet, but I'm very excited about this, and I've got a lot to say about it.
God.
So Apple TV Plus, which Dale and I are all for, they've got so many great shows. We've already told you about Slow Horses, which we consumed in like really fast. We love that, and we're excited that it's coming out with a second, third, and fourth, and eighth season. I don't know. But this Friday, June 24th, Apple TV Plus is dropping Loot with Maya Rudolph, who's just a funny chick from Saturday Night Live. She's so great.
Bridesmaids.
Yeah, she's so great in that too. And then Joel Kim Booster, who we know he wrote and starred in Fire Island, the movie that we talked about a couple weeks ago on Hulu. I didn't realize that he also wrote it, and he was the star of it. Anyway, in Loot, Rudolph is playing this billionaire whose life comes spiraling down when she gets divorced after 20 years. And she decides that she needs to, she hits rock bottom, and she needs to kind of figure out how she's going to make her life meaningful.
Yeah.
So she goes to this charity foundation that her family owns that she's had nothing to do with, and she decides to get involved in it. So it's kind of a comedy of errors.
Yeah.
And then Joel Kim Booster plays her assistant. So I'm sure that's going to be really funny because he's really funny.
I think this is going to be a great show to watch.
I think it's going to be really great. So Apple TV Plus is dropping 3 episodes this Friday, and then there'll be a new episode every Friday after that until they get done.
For a total of 10.
For a total of 10. So super excited about that. That's what we're watching this weekend coming up. And in related super gay news, we talked about Fire Island. Great movie if you guys like Fire Island, New York, and if you guys like gays. It is really funny, and it has a really great score on Rotten Tomatoes, 96.
It was actually, and
it's fun.
I hate these kind of movies because I always think it's just going to be just
gay campy stupidness.
Just stupid shit. But it was actually, I liked the characters.
It was smart.
And that was hard for me with other gay movies or series, but I actually really, really, really liked the main characters in this one.
It's got Margaret Cho in it. It was It was the very first guest on the Swish Edition.
I know. I feel like that there could be a second season. And
it's not a season. It was a movie.
I mean, a second movie
sequel
where
don't give it away. You can't say. You can't say what's going to happen.
Okay, well then, so I can't say because there's only one way that they could have a.
Right, no, you can't say. But I will tell you this. Did you know, because we've talked about this on our show, and we also talked about on your old show, Binge Bum, Quibi, the short subject, what was that, an app?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was supposed to be a Quibi series. So it was supposed to be called Trip.
That would have been cool.
It was picked up to be a Quibi series. And then when Quibi died, they retooled it and took the series and made it into a movie.
Nice.
And then Hulu bought it. But you'll also appreciate this. Joel Kim Booster also wrote and produced the other 2.
Yeah.
So you get the humor.
The humor is the same. Yeah.
Yes.
But I do say that I was a big fan of Quibi.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I loved it. We loved that one, that designing mobster thing.
And we never got to finish it. They were like in Mexico at a cartel's house, then Quibi went. Actually, we can still watch it because someone bought all the Quibi shows. But
it's good because what Quibi was, if you guys don't remember, it was short subjects like less than 7 minutes, I think.
Quibi stands for Quick Bites.
Quick Bites, because everyone nowadays has a attention span of a flea. So it was a good thing.
And this launched right at pandemic.
And they didn't.
So this was launched for people who were on the subway, taking the bus to work, that kind of shit. And then the fucking pandemic hit. And no one was going to fucking work, so no one watched fucking Quibi. But I liked it. I liked it a lot. They had the Reno series on there. It was just fucking great.
No, it was super fun. So anyway, guys, we can't recommend enough. Watch Fire Island. It's really great. And then this Friday, Loot. You guys have Apple TV. I mean, if you have an Apple computer or an iPhone, you get it for free. So
I'm telling you, if
it's worth the
I
money.
had to pick, I'd lose Netflix. And pick up Apple TV Plus.
We're also loving, and Dale mentioned this at the top of the show, we're loving For All Mankind. Now, season 3 just started, but Dale and I are still on season 1. I know, we're very late to the game because we've been watching. There's so much.
We've been watching a lot of shit.
So we've watched episode 1 and 2 of For All Mankind, and we're loving it. And we're going to continue that. So we'll get caught up. But it's fun. It's a revisionist history of the moon race, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
I'll give it away. It's because it's in the previews. The Russians get there before we do.
If you don't know that by now, I mean, For All Mankind was an original show.
That was in the teaser trailer.
Like 5 years old now.
Yeah. Anyway, some HBO Max news. Super excited about this because Dale and I just finished season 2. We're very excited that Hacks has been renewed for a 3rd season. Great show. Great show. I didn't think that they could top season 1, and season 2 was actually pretty fucking great.
Season 2 is so much better than season 1. It's just smart comedy.
Smart. Yeah, the whole thing takes place in a bus traveling across the country in season 2. I don't know what they're going to do for season 3, but excited about that.
Yeah.
And now, here's the big news of the week. Everyone's been talking about this. A Jon Snow sequel is coming. This is going to be a post-Westeros story. It's in the works at HBO, and Kit Harington, who played Jon Snow in the original Game of Thrones, is attached to come back and play his character. Yeah, so we're going to find out what happens to Jon Snow after Game of Thrones.
Nice.
After, after he killed what's her name? I won't say who because
Daenerys.
That would ruin it. If you don't know that by now, it's been a couple years. It's been a couple years. I don't think that's a spoiler.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so. You guys probably know, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, that House of Dragon, the prequel series, is dropping on HBO August 21st. We're super excited about that. It's just like 2 months away. Literally 2 months from today.
Yeah.
And then there are 2 other Game of Thrones shows in the works, Dunk and Egg, which I don't understand what that title even means. Literally Dunk and Egg.
Dunk and Egg.
And the Sea Snake. Those 2 series are in the works, but now we know that there's a Jon Snow series. So that's 4 total.
What I feel like Game of Thrones is going to do, which is what Star Wars has done. Confuse fucking everybody where they got to put out a fucking map with the original 7? Is it 7? Right? And then draw lines where, okay, the Mandalorian's here, Obi-Wan's here, but goes over to here.
Oh, it's
Game of Thrones is going to be the new fucking Star Wars. They have to do
that with Star Wars. They also have to do that with Marvel, with all the Marvel movies.
Right.
I mean, because you have to watch Captain America 2 before you watch Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and then you have to watch Mrs. Marvel before you watch
Game of Thrones is
Spider-Man.
Game of Thrones is going to be that bullshit.
Yeah, but Game of Thrones was probably one of the most popular shows of all time. It's probably up there in the top 5, up there with Sopranos and I don't know, I Love Lucy, or I don't know. It's way up there. Ending. It's way up there. It had a shitty last season. Sorry. You really fucked it up.
Not the last season, just the last couple of episodes.
They fucked it up. The whole last season. There were a couple good episodes, but they really did fuck it up. But I'm excited about this. I'm excited about Kit Harington because I just everyone loves him.
Right.
I mean, he came back from the dead, for God's sake.
Right.
Speaking of HBO.
No.
He doesn't want me to talk about this.
No.
Why?
Because I don't know where you're going with this and why you want to bring it up. Because you only want to bring it up because she wants to talk about the N-word all the time.
And that's what I'm talking about. Now that we've said it, shouldn't I keep going? I just don't understand it. So there's this show on HBO. It has the post Bill Maher time slot on Friday nights. So I guess it's on at 11 o'clock East Coast time. For us, it's 7, I think, or 8.
8.
Anyway, it's called Pause with Sam J. Sam J is a comedian and a writer. She worked for Saturday Night Live. She's the one who wrote and came up with Black Jeopardy. If you guys know the Black Jeopardy skits on Saturday Night Live, she was behind that. She wrote that. Yeah, she can be funny. Absolutely. She has a new show. It's called Pause with Sam J. And basically what she does is she invites friends, colleagues, and other comedians over to her apartment to talk about black issues. She is a black lesbian. So a lot of the issues that they talk about are black gay issues. She also has a really slutty white girlfriend, I think, who cheats on her all the time. So that comes up a lot.
She's not white.
I thought she was white. No. She wasn't white. Well, it doesn't matter what color she was. It doesn't matter what color any of these people are. That's not my point. My point is that it came on because we literally we never watch Bill Maher live. Ever. We always watch it on Saturday.
The next day.
We never watch it on Friday, but we were free and we were eating dinner and we were like, hey, it literally is starting in 2 minutes. Let's just watch it live. So we watched it live on HBO, which is, we never watch anything live on TV, ever. We don't even watch the news live. It's taped. Because we watch Morning Joe, it starts at 3 a.m. We tape it and we turn it on when we get up. Anyway. So we're watching in time delay. So if there's ever breaking news, we won't know about it. No, we will, because we have our phones glued to our faces. Anyway, so Sam J uses the N-word literally about 12 times a minute. It's just constant out of her mouth, and I just don't understand it. And I found it so... I literally asked you to turn it off because it was just so unsettling to me. And I don't understand it. And we've talked about this before on the show where when there's a song, a popular song that's on the radio or something that we're listening to, and there's the N-word is used every other minute in the song. And I just find it so unsettling. And so it kind of ruined it for me. And she may be very brilliant and her comedy might be great and her conversations with her friends might be groundbreaking and opening doors for people. But I think she ruins it by using that word every friggin' minute. And I would love to talk to some of our black friends to see what they think about it. I'd love to ask what Jacqueline or Ebony or people who have been on the show before, how do they feel about someone like Sam J using that word 10 times a minute? I just don't understand it. So, you have nothing to say about that?
No.
But do you not find it unsettling?
I don't know.
All right. Well, it's just my idea. I mean, even Terry Gross on NPR did a 45-minute interview with Sam J and never brought up that fact. And I know that Terry Gross has watched the show and has listened to her talk, so she knows that she's using the word all the time. And I don't know why Terry Gross didn't ask her why she uses it constantly. It seems like this is something we should be talking about. Anyway, we haven't really talked about Britney Spears lately, have we?
No.
You know, she got married and all the big people were there.
Again?
No. Yeah, she got married again. Third time, I think. Anyway, it turns out that this is weird, and I'd like to find out why. Maybe we'll be following this. Britney, just a couple days ago, deleted all of her social media accounts. Instagram, Facebook, they're all gone. She also bought a $12 million house in Calabasas right next door to Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker.
Is that where Justin Bieber lives?
And Britney's getting sued by her father because her father is worried about what Britney might say in her forthcoming autobiography that she's getting paid $15 million.
Just like the previous story. I don't know if he has a leg to stand. Well, I guess a defamation thing. But
you can't sue someone for something you think they might do.
Right. And I mean, the thing is, I'm sure he's going with defamation, but I'm wondering if she can prove what she would write.
Yeah.
And then he just has no like stand on.
If it's true, it's not defamation.
Right.
Right. If your father kept you from drinking, he literally kept her from drinking coffee and alcohol for like 15 years. She wasn't allowed to have coffee. So
he's a horrible guy.
He's obviously a horrible guy, and he obviously wants to keep these things secret, or he wouldn't be trying to sue her.
Exactly.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Fasten your seatbelts and close your buck cheeks. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.